Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here, and it's a little different of a video. Today we're actually going to be reacting to a video. This is Wan's apology video. If you don't know, Wan and I, we've been friends for close to 20 years. And a lot of things went down in the last few months, I'll say, that have affected things with our friendship. And none bigger than his decision to stop making videos and the way that was handled. Right? I was definitely disappointed by it and affected by it. And I had to keep making videos, keep carrying on with it. It's something I've done since 2012. I wasn't going to stop, what I'm trying to do with the WCW brand, the way I'm actually trying to continue to build it, and the evolution of it. So I had to find another host for the Race Playlist, the longest running series. So I got Jonathan. You may see him, may know him as Lord Shredder, or Shredder as we're going with now. He joined the Race Playlist back in March, and when offered some tips on one of the videos, and just wrote some things in the comments, which is whatever. But the way it evolved into this whole big issue. So Jonathan and I discussed it in a Race Playlist episode titled "Beef. It's What's for Dinner 300." Both a reference to the NASCAR Xfinity Series race, titled that for years, and also just the fact that it was, a little bit of issues between Wan and I. So, when responded, we sent some text messages to each other, and we also just had, just discussions in that sense. The other thing that we really had was, that video. Right, that video, just a lot of things were said, and again, the text message between Wan and I, things were said, and I even wrote an article that I published on abcw.net in one of my 7 articles I've written so far, and put it on X. So it's been a whole thing. So Wan said to me, in a text, "Gonna make an apology video and have you publish on the channel," because again, he still want to make a video here or there. So message Jonathan on what do you think. Should we do it? Should we go with it? We both said, hey, it's good. Let's see what he says. So I uploaded it. I want to actually react to it. So I haven't watched it. This is going to be my first reaction to the apology. Let's see.
I've taken a chance to listen to Curtis's side of the story on the beef that happened a couple of weeks ago. And I'd asked him if I could make a video on touching on topics that I wanted to address, my side of the story, and to apologize to a couple of people and the channel. Now, I wrote everything that I wanted to say on a couple of sheets of paper here so that none of my words are misconstrued. I'm going to read it directly from the paper. All of these are my words. Everything here is my thought. I spent a lot of time writing this up right before this to make sure everything was good. I had what I wanted to say down. So, that being said, what's good, y'all? It's Wanye on Epic CW. Today I'm bringing you a different video.
Breast script of the intro. I love to see it. That's beautiful. All right. Let's lock in. Let's focus.
Sorts. I'm sure you've all stayed up with the channel beef that's been going on between me, the host, Curtis, and the new co-host, Jonathan. I want to address a few things and say my piece as they had their opportunity to do so through the Beef Race Playlist, which you guys should definitely go and check out. I want to start by saying...
Beef, It's Was for Dinner 300. I forgot what episode number that was. Let's find out. This had to be... the fuck did I do? Beef, It's What's for Dinner. It's gotta be a good one in here. Give me the number. Beef, It's What's for Dinner. beef. Bro, that trophy they used to get, which is like a cooler with like a steak in like the meat on the bone. One of those. Beef is what's for dinner. Alright, so this is April 14th. So I believe this started on around March 31st in the GTA Race Plus now available on X episode. I believe is when the comments started, and then from there it kind of just carried on. So let's see.
Saying that I'm not the one that made the channel a success. From early on, it's been a team contribution featuring many different people, with Curtis running the show. There is no excuse for saying what I had said. Not only was I wrong about everything that I said that night, but it was just flat out incorrect. But the specific remark of me making the channel a success, I wanted to separately acknowledge and apologize above everything else. It's not representative of my views now or any time during the evolution of the channel. I also want to dispel the rumor of myself being in an abusive relationship. As far from the truth. I can see where the thinking went into that conclusion, as well as my past. I haven't had too many good relationships, but not this one. I'm in a very, very committed, happy, healthy relationship, and I've never, ever been treated as good as I do from my fiance, as I have from any other person. So I stepped down on my own volition, and the reason I didn't have time to be fully committed to YouTube was because the schedules of recording and spending time with my fiance just conflicted at the time. And it's not Curtis. He wanted a specific, strict schedule. We work both different times. It was we took days off that coincided with each other so that we could do video recording to begin with. So we had days set out. And I felt like I wouldn't be able to uphold the same frequency of videos that I was putting out after I'd made those changes in my...
Alright, so I think this is a good time to jump in here. I think the first thing, obviously, apologizing about the comments of, making the channel what it was. He commented basically saying about making the channel successful. And that was because he was part of it, or he was, the reason it was successful. And that I would have stopped making videos without him. Right. Now, it's not the first time we went through a time of not doing videos together. We had a time from essentially the middle of 2020 to the end of 2021 where we didn't make videos together. And that was a difficult period for videos. But that was the closest I got to saying I was going to stop doing videos. And the reason for it in 2021 specifically, I didn't do many videos, and that the channel got to its all-time low was really because I was just focused on so many other things, right? A lot of things had changed around that time period. I had, gotten a more consistent job. I had gotten, my brother moved in for all of 2021. He lived here. And that was an amazing time that I got to spend so much time with my brother, right? And we got to do so much stuff together, whether it was, watching F1 together or watching basketball or playing basketball, or we went on walks almost every day, or we would either play basketball or go on walks almost every day. I should do that. Or making bike jumps in the backyard for my brother and his mountain bike. Or, we spent a lot of time looking at crypto things and NFT things, because my brother specifically, super into it. I find it quite interesting and gain a lot of knowledge of that from him. So in 2021, I definitely was the closest saying, hey, I'm not going to do it. Right? I even put out videos saying, hey, we're not going to do as much anymore. 2022, Wen and I, start making content together. 2023, we hit a level of success together, right? And I will credit him a lot for being part of it, because if it was just myself, it wouldn't hit those levels. And we see that now with content. That since he left, it has dropped off. Right? And that's what hurts about it, is I think that him and I, we were going places with content, building at a rate that I think we could have hit, bigger success, better success. I think this year was going to be our biggest year. So that's what really hurts. Is knowing what we were building towards and what we were going to do together this year, right? This was going to be an amazing year with amazing projects. And, when he stopped doing content, I knew I needed him in the content, right? And having somebody that's committed to doing content and willing to do it with you, is what I got from him. And I didn't know the direction I was going to take it without him being in it. I think Jonathan is a great host, though. So I think that him and I, we're going to take content, maybe in a different direction, but we're going to take content to great places together. And I'm excited for that. So, the things we got planned, we just got to get rolling in content and see where it goes. But I think we're still in a good spot, right? But losing what I had worked on, right? And I mean, when Wen said I'm not going to do videos anymore, there was a moment when I didn't know if Jonathan was going to do it. I knew he was interested in it, but that day, right, those few weeks, till I really tell Jonathan, hey, do you want to do this? There was a worry then that we wouldn't have a Race Bust anymore, right? We wouldn't have a co-host of any series. So Jonathan being there definitely helps, right? I think that is the good part about it. Again, a lot of the stuff that Wen and I had planned is gone, right? I mean, we were going to do a massive project from April to August together. We had a premiere project in March. We had a premiere project in December and September. And those are all gone. So, thinking of the time that I sat and planned it and losing that hurts. But the thing that hurt more than all is just saying that the content's successful because of him. So, I guess seeing that was obviously an in the moment thing. I don't know. That's the part that hurt, because I felt like the whole time it was him and I together that made it great, and I feel like having somebody you can bounce off of with content is what makes content great. I feel like most of the time the content you see that's successful, a lot of it is people together, right? And having that to bounce off of. So that's why I think the Race Battles with Wen for years was our best content, and why I felt like 2023 was our best content. And why I feel like now the Race Battles with Jonathan is the best content, because having somebody there to bounce off of is the best. So to have half of that group, half of, both of us together, one half say it was successful because of me, was the part that was the most difficult. So, there's that. As for the comments of Wen being in a manipulative or abusive relationship or controlling or whatever words you want to use, from everybody that I talked to about the situation and how it went down, and I did talk to multiple people, get multiple opinions, form my own opinion on it as well, of course. everybody came to the same conclusion. You know, you meet this girl for 3 months and, get engaged quickly. She moves in, and in that same span, you say, nah, I'm good doing videos, right? It draws that conclusion. And, it's one of those things that's definitely going to be the perception of it. And, that's the way we're going to view it. Whether or not there's an accurate statement, that's the way multiple people have perceived it and understandably would perceive it. If you go from saying, I'm committed to doing these videos, and then you meet somebody like that and say, nah, I'm good. I'm not doing these videos anymore. I got something else to focus on. It definitely has that vibe. So that's where that comes from.
My life where my fiance moved in. So that's why I decided to step down, because I just felt like I couldn't fulfill my promise to Curtis that I made at the beginning of, making consistent videos every single week. I can do that. I just don't know if I'm going to have the time every single week to keep doing that every single week, 100%. So it's not that I didn't have the time, period, because I'm clearly still making videos. You all saw the Gorgon video. Or I don't know if you saw that yet, but I have another video coming out as well. It wasn't that I don't have time for the videos at all. I do. It's just scattered all over the place, and it's more when I have the time to do the videos, and I don't have the time to do a 3-hour video at the end of the night when I'm trying to, get home, relax a little bit, spend some time with my fiance. Like every single time the race plus. I mean, I'm sure we could figure out a time to do that. I'm not sure if that ship has sailed. I mean, obviously Jonathan's doing race plus with Curtis now, but that's the reason I had made the decision.
Again, I think it's one of those things that I want to sit here and say content's, it's got to be semi-consistent. It can't be, let's do a video and then I can't do them for 3 weeks, right? And also the thing is, when we do videos and when he does message me and say, hey, I have time, it tends to be Monday at 3 p.m, which is the day I have to work. So that's when it doesn't really line up. Right, I'm good doing videos, and I would be down to do some form of video together. But again, I don't want to sit here and say we're going to do a playlist or I wouldn't say Race Plus. I'd say Race Plus, that's gone, right? That, he said, is that over? I feel like it is, right? I feel like that's, Jonathan's in that now, and we're not going to switch that up, right? Jonathan's got that spot, right? I think that's where that's at. Could we figure out something where it's 3 people each week? Maybe, but again, that have to be each week, right? I'm not going to say do a playlist and then, I'll be back in 2 weeks, right? Because again, it's something that we're all sacrificing doing something, right? He says, I want to chill, or I want to relax, or I want to spend time with my fiance. Granted, I don't have a relationship with somebody that I have to spend time with, but there are things that I want to do that I've given up that to make a video, right? And that's one thing when he stepped away from doing videos, that I was, able to do more other things, right? I was able to focus on building a website and building the FCW brand because I wasn't so committed to doing videos. So I understand, right? But it's one of those things that we all have to sacrifice that one time, right? If you got to say, hey, one night, hey, I know we got to chill, but this one night, this is my working on videos night, right? That's something you have to be able to say and balance, right? And I think that's the part where I don't know. I feel like if you say, okay, Monday night, I'm sorry, I know you want to chill me tonight, but we got a video to do. That, for me, is, I feel like, a compromise, right? And that's where that element, and that's something I felt like from the beginning when he said, hey, I can't do videos. I'm good. Let's do one day, right? Let's do one night. Let's have a set, Monday night, Tuesday night, whatever. Wednesday night, that's a set night. Hey, I'm going to do videos. That's my night. I can't do, and I'm not expecting somebody to sit here and say I can do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because that was a lot. But to sit here and say I got one night I can spend with you, I got you, right? One night we can do content together. That is the part that for me, I would have liked to have seen. A Sunday night. Let's do Racing Masters and play Gran Turismo, right? Something like that. That's what I want. And I would totally be down to do, especially with WAN, to bring back Racing Masters as a series and record it on Sunday night. That is something that I would want to see. And I would totally be down with that. But again, it would have to just be I'm available to record on Sunday night, right? I don't want it to be I'm available to record this Sunday and then 3 weeks on you're not going to see me. Because for content, to make successful content on the internet, you can't have weeks off, right? I mean, I've noticed that with the views of content on this channel. We had so much momentum going, and we didn't really do much in February. We didn't do as much in March, right? We did 2 episodes of Jonathan. Things came up that delayed it. Hurt the content, right? I think Jonathan had 1 week he just couldn't record, and 1 week he was sick, right? So in between, basically from end of January to almost the end of March, we had 2 race battles, and that really, really hurt the content. Again, there's other content in there, but those are the main things that people subscribe to the channel for. So to not have that, again, that hurt it. So that's why you gotta have something more consistent. I can't commit to, as a content creator, sorry, I can't do tonight when I have a schedule made, right? That doesn't work. It doesn't work as a content creator to dedicate Tuesday upload day. 3 days before, if we upload something like the race post, especially, a lot of the content I do is recorded way ahead of time. But the series that I do with people, right? Everything else, all my solo content, weeks ahead, right? The race post with Jonathan, we record that on a Tuesday night. It goes out on a Sunday, right? So if we miss a week, I don't have a video for a Sunday unless I got to scramble to come up with something. And I wouldn't want to sit here and make a video with WAN and say, all right, Sunday's our recording night, and it gets to Saturday, 3 p.m. Oh, I can't record. And now, the video goes out on a Tuesday, and I got to figure out something when I got to work. All right, I got to work Monday night, and I got to work Tuesday, right? And I got to watch racing on Sunday and then make a racing video, make the racing debriefs. I'm already committed to that. And I got to run the website, and I got to try to build the WCW brand. I don't have that ability to sit down and say, let me record a 2-hour video at, 3 days before or 2 days before an unscheduled time. And that really is what hurt the channel. And that's what I don't want to commit to. But again, if WAN wants to, and if WAN is watching this, if you're watching it, message me. Let's bring back Racing Masters. Work together on that. But we got to have a set Sunday night. Do it on a set Sunday night, I'm in. Bring it back.
The choice, a project that I've been working on for, hold on 1 second. I wouldn't let my fiance make a decision, or anybody that I'm with, make a decision or influence in the choice of continuing with YouTube, a project that I've been working on for a decade before she came into my life. It would be wrong and unfortunate if she had asked me or put me in that position to choose between 2 things that I care about, the channel or her. It would just be wrong. But that wasn't the case. That didn't happen. While I'm not a huge part of the channel anymore, I still aim to support as best as I can, making my own videos or featuring every so often, if that option is still available to me. Last thing I wanted to do was make apologies to my partners on YouTube and the fans of the channel, yourselves. Jonathan, I apologize for how I talked to you that day, how I came off. You didn't want the help. I kept pushing that instead of taking the hint and fucking off. I never got a chance to meet you formally, just hear about you from Curtis and watch a few series that you were involved in since October of last year, when you started being featured on the channel doing the co-op golf series, the PGA Tour.
Oh, yeah. Golf.
I feel like that was a bad first impression.
I forgot about the golf video. Bring it back. Oh, boy. Bro, Jonathan and I gotta bring back the golf series. Bro beat me all 3 episodes. Not a fan of that. Let's bring it back. Obviously, the part more for Jonathan to react to than me. But obviously, I do appreciate the acknowledgement of, Jonathan and that. Obviously, they haven't met each other. They haven't really interacted with each other outside of those comments. So that's a bit unfortunate. It's difficult. That was a difficult scenario to be in. I upload the video, I run the channel, right? Wen and I are working through already in a situation in our friendship that was difficult, right? I was already kind of, again, really upset about this at the time. Kind of got to a point where nothing really fucking matters anymore anyways. So why the fuck does it matter? Why be mad at somebody? Right? I've gotten to that point. But at that time, it was really difficult, right? I think that Wen and I were at a very tough point in our friendship. So to see, someone that again I've been friends with for 20 years, arguing with someone that I've, became friends with, and, considered now to be a good friend, right? And have plans of doing many things at WCW brand with that I don't want to, I keep saying there's many things at WCW brand because there's so many things that Jonathan and I have talked about that I don't want to share because they really pertain to actually launching WCW as a full-on business, right? But to see the things we're working on and that sort of stuff, it's difficult to see them argue with each other, right? Because I don't want people to be arguing. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of people arguing. I feel like it's unnecessary. So to have the comment section of video devolve into that, and I should have stayed out of it personally. But that's on me. But yeah, I don't know. I should have stayed out of it, but again, seeing them argue with each other was difficult. But yeah.
And I'm not trying to beef with the new co-host of Epic CW. You genuinely seem pretty cool. Everything that I said was not... I wasn't in my right mind that day. That being said, Jonathan, the race challenge still holds up. Still interested in racing 1v1. If you are, you claim to be better than I was in GTA racing. Regardless of statistics, we've always settled beefs with racing, so let's settle the question of who's better.
Oh, God.
My second apology.
I forgot about that. Oh, boy. I mean, listen. I'm not against it. I think it'd be a good video, getting them to go against each other. I think we could do something. It'd be difficult to have a 1v1 if I'm going to be there in the video. Because, it's not really like you can... maybe we could do like a share screen type thing. But, again, I think we could almost do a playlist style race together, and they can kind of see who's better between them. That is my solution to it. I think it wouldn't be a 1v1 with them. I think it'd be everybody against each other. I think that's a really good idea.
Apology goes out to you, the viewers.
Oh, the viewers.
While it's probably entertaining to see the beef exchanged, it got to a point where it became out of hand and personal, where it was no longer entertaining or constructive, but obnoxious to watch, and honestly to just listen back on. Which Curtis and I have pointed out and agree with entirely. That wasn't beneficial to the channel in the way that I went about it, and it wasn't fair to you viewers. So again, I apologize to you viewers, apologize to Jonathan. Lastly, I have to send my apologies to Curtis.
Oh, we haven't even got to that
really,
yet? Oh, shit. Bro, how long is this? I can't check. But this has got to be a long video. What'd I do? I scrolled.
apologize, man. I fucked up. I can't stress that enough. Listening back to you reading what I said in the beef playlist, it just doesn't make sense what I'd said. I know it's hard to believe that I never ever had that thought to begin with, especially since it was brought up in an argument, but it's true. I never had that thought once in my life. Honestly, it came from you saying before when I joined the channel, you were losing interest in doing videos alone, and when we decided to partner and make videos together under Epic CW, and did the RC content specifically, not just by myself, but together. You know, we've been working on videos in RC together as well. Along with the short content that was the start of it and other videos, it revived the channel and we brought more views and reactions. That was said in multiple videos and personally to me on video in the heat of the moment.
Again, we already dived into that part specifically. Why I had stopped doing videos or cut down on videos. I think that it was at a point that, again, views were dropping off, but also just the interest. And again, it was difficult to create exciting content by myself, right? I haven't. I guess I would say I haven't been somebody who's really made friends with people, right? And I don't think that's a negative thing. I just think it's something I haven't really felt like I needed, right? It's kind of whatever, right? I kind of do my own thing, and I'm cool with it. But I felt like in that time that we didn't do videos together, videos became so much something doing that with somebody that is weird to do without somebody. So not having a friend that could jump into it, and I think that could have easily happened if there wasn't Jonathan there, right? If I hadn't met him at work and been like, I'm into doing videos. Oh, so am I, right? So I hadn't met somebody necessarily like that, and somebody that really saw the vision of what EpiCW could be. And there wasn't that in 2021. And again, I was focused on other things, like I said. So when Wan jumped back in the race belts in 2022, that worked. And again, also the introduction of short content, where we put out a lot of the crazy moments, which I will note that was my idea. I just want to say it. That was my idea. I remember Wan being against it initially, but we're just going to gloss over that because why not? I found it was funny. I thought that was the funniest part throughout when he did make the comment of the channel being, again, in the heat of the moment, him saying he saved the channel or made it good or whatever. I did find that part funny because of the shorts. That was my idea. He didn't like that as much. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's just a joke.
Sorry, in the heat of the moment. I lost my train of thought here.
Do be like that. This is real.
Because of decisions that were. Hold on. In the heat of the moment, I took what you said and exacerbated it way out of proportion by saying that. And truly, it was. I did not mean what I said at all. I don't ever think that way, period. It truly is egotistical, like you said in the video. And I'm not that kind of person. You know I'm not that kind of person. I know I'm not that kind of person. That day definitely was egotistical, but that's not me. That being said, it was a clown move and not what I truly believe. I wanted to address straight up that you have appreciated the work that I've put in on the channel, and you've let me know that multiple times. And you haven't strayed away from your responsibilities as a best friend, separate from YouTube. I felt after everything happened, we needed some time for things to cool off, and now I'm referring to my exit from the channel. So I hadn't been active responding back, afraid of a fight arising during heightened tensions in our friendship, and maybe that wasn't the best move. Because I recognized that I seemed absent in our friendship after leaving the channel, and it gave you the perception that I switched up on you. I'd love to continue the friendship we had, but I don't think it's something that I have to choose between the both of you.
I did say that.
Both of you play important roles in my life, and I want it to stay that way. I don't like to choose between two people I care about, especially when the beef had nothing to do with you two. I'd hate for the only reason we can't be friends is because I got engaged, but that's for you to decide at the end of the day. Because I can't give up my relationship that I'm finally happy in after I settled down and engaged. That's just an impossible decision to put me in. And I refuse to make that choice. I'd like to think that that was an ultimatum if I indeed was in an abusive relationship and gave up on the channel because of the decisions I made.
I do feel like that is mainly where that aspect of it came from. I mean, I kind of forgot that I even did say that because, again, that video was like months ago, or at least a month ago, between this apology video that he recorded and the beef video. The beef is what's written in our playlist. So I do, I would say I kind of forgot that. I think that in that situation, if it was truly, again, whatever the relationship is that he is in, if it's what he's saying and it's, 100% not controlling, he made these decisions, I don't think it's something that he has to choose. I think if it's that, in that position where it was a controlling relationship and he was, told, hey, stop making videos, that's definitely where I'd say in it, but I don't think that having to choose one person or the other is a decision I'd want him to have to make. Again, I think it's one of those things that the perception of how his relationship seemed and seems, I guess, in that moment of saying, hey, I'm not doing videos anymore, and how I believe it went down, or would have been led to believe at the time. I'm not sitting here definitively saying that it's making a decision on one way or the other on that here, but from discussions and again just seeing how it went down, I think that that's something that I feel is a decision I don't want him to have to make if he's truly, saying, hey, this is not the way the relationship is, then you don't have to make a decision on that. But I'm good with it. I think that this video, hearing his words on it and not just through messages, clears up some things. But yeah, I mean, it's not something to choose between just for the hell of it, right? If it's a spot where you're in that type of relationship, you gotta make that choice. But if you're not, then you're not. We're good.
Out of my control, but that was not the case. To be clear, this is a response directly to what the situation was addressed in the Beef Race playlist a few playlists ago, and we have addressed these topics separately since then, but I refuse to choose between two people that I care about. I don't usually make videos like this or apologize for what I say because I'm very good with what I say, filtering, and thus have a reputation for saying what I mean and how I feel. However, I needed to come out and make a video apologizing for my behavior that night to right the situation, regardless of if I lose a best friend in Curtis and a potential best friend in Jonathan, or a potential friend in Jonathan. It is the right thing to do because I was wrong. My only excuse was I was going through a really rough time that night. Just that entire week, and I believe like half the week before then. During that exchange, and that night happened to be the worst of it. And unfortunately, Curtis, Jonathan, and the viewers were the ones that took the brunt of it. Not my best moment. Not my best moment at all. We all have bad days. That shouldn't be the judge of an entire person's character. Again, it was wrong, and while I hope to make amends here today, I could understand if Epic CW doesn't want to continue with me being featured on the channel. I still wish the best for Epic CW and its members, and hope they succeed, as I've been just a part of the success over time, and many more to come. And I would like to see you thrive, like I've seen with the channel and the business in the last few months, to expand the brand itself. And I have some final comments here. I guess the final comments that I have to make on the situation is I personally find it kind of whack to end a 20-year relationship for the same hypocritical reason that you were mad at me in the first place, which you had made the whole point of being mad over not an accusation, but a belief that my fiance was the one making my decisions for me and making me quit the channel with no evidence besides you talk to people that weren't me on the situation. And asking other people what they think about it. Thinking I was put in a situation where I had to choose between the channel / friendship and her, and then you make a statement in the beef playlist that I have to choose between our friendship or her doing exactly what you thought she was doing. You see it as me choosing.
Again, I think it's one of those things that, from a perspective of saying, hey, I'm stopping, and it could just be a hell of a coincidence, but the timing and the way it happened, right? That is the part that led to it. And whether or not, you know, I don't know if that was right to necessarily put that in a video, to be fair. Looking at it, again, I think that was one of those things where the response to that is recorded relatively soon after, within a day or two. So, it's probably not the best thing to say in a video, and I probably should have sent that as like a message and, had that discussion. So I think that that's a mistake by me. Not that I make mistakes often, but I think that was a mistake in a video, right? I'll own that. I do see the comparison between saying, hey, you got to choose one person out of that situation. But I think that it's not at the same time. I think hearing it's the same thing when it's a belief held that you're in a relationship that you're being told what to do and being controlled in that situation, and saying you got to choose between a potential controlling relationship and your best friend for almost 20 years, I don't think is the same. So that's that, right? That's where I'm at on that. I don't think it's the same. But I do think that maybe just putting that in a video wasn't the best move by me.
Her over you when I've never made that decision, or was it ever an issue or brought up? I would never choose between two people that I care about. I'd rather continue to have a best friend / best man and a wedding to my fiance rather than either no wedding with no best man but a best friend, or no best friend and a best man but without a wedding, but with a wedding. So that was all I had to say today. That was my apologies, my apology video. I'd like to definitely talk with Curtis privately after this. If he has any responses or anything to this, I'm sure he'll make a video possibly. I feel like the beef's over, so it's not really worth continuing. But we'll talk separately and see how we work things out, if that's going to be the case. Again, I would love to continue to be friends, and I would find that ending a 20-year relationship over something like a really terrible point in my life when I wasn't acting in my right mind, that's the end of it, and I hope that's not the case, but it's up to you, man. Again, I apologize to Curtis, to Jonathan, to the viewers especially. It was messed up, and yeah, so peace out, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I think from that, I don't think either one of us would probably be feeling the best after. I mean, that definitely is a lot to go through. It's a bit of a heavy video, heavy topic, I guess, in that sense. I mean, obviously, it's been a rough few months. Emotional, difficult. I feel like I don't show many emotions on camera. I try to keep that separate from videos. Yeah. No, it's been difficult. It's been a tough time dealing with it. So yeah, I guess I would just say I'm good with this being over. I've wanted this to be over for weeks. I mean, I'm over it. I've moved past it mostly. I think that this video I'm going to put out is going to be the end of it. Right? I don't think there needs to be any more publicly discussed parts of it. I think, we can message about it. When can text about it, whatever. Text me, call me, talk to me about it. But I'm pretty much done with this beef. Again, I think that we can. I don't want to lose a friendship over it either. I think that we both said things we shouldn't have said. I think that we both have made mistakes throughout this. And I'd like to move on. And I know he wants to. Obviously, he said that. I know Jonathan, for his part of it, he wants to move on as well. I've talked to him about it. Seen Wan's reaction here. We all want to move on. I think we're all in a good spot to move on, right? Again, I'd like to, if it's possible, have that one day that when I could do some form of video, because I don't want to lose that. And I have wanted to lose that. And that's what I've wanted since, he said I'm done in January. If we can have that one day one day a week that is just like Sunday night, let's do a racing masters. That's ideally for me what I want. But if you can't commit to it, you can't commit to it. Either way, it's been a long video. We all have made mistakes here. And I think it's time we want to move on with our lives. And focus on creating great content and what we want to do in life. I want to continue to build the EpicCW brand. That's a focus of mine. And to be fair, I'd like to have Wen, if possible, be part of that with whatever type of brand he'd want to do with it. That's ideal for me, right? Having more people involved in it in some way is ideal, and I think that not having him involved in it is difficult. So that's where I stand on it. We got great brands. We got my portion of the EpicCW brand. We got Shredder, part of EpicCW, with the Handmade by Hope. I'd like to see a WAN section. Hopefully it happens. But who knows? Either way, that's that. I appreciate Wen making this video. And I appreciate anybody who took time to watch it. And we'll be back with more great content tomorrow.